Hello, and welcome to episode 153 of Movies with Us. I'm Marcus.
And I'm TJ.
And this is the movie review show that reviews genre movies from beginning to sometime. And today, we are reviewing the 2018 release, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo. This movie has a runtime of 118 minutes. That's 2 hours and 2 minutes?
It's an hour 58.
It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours long. It's too f***ing long. An hour 58? Yeah. This movie was directed by Peyton Reed, written by Chris McKenna, Eric with K Summers, and Paul Rudd. Really? Huh, I wonder. And Andrew Barrer, and Gabriel Ferreira. That's why it's got f***ing 5 writers. Jesus. Don't ever have 5 writers for something, people. Movie is produced by Kevin Feige and Stephen Brossard. Starring so many people. Starring Paul Rudd as Scott Lang,
Evangeline Lilly
as Hope, Michael Pena as Lewis as Walter Goggins as Sonny Birch, Hannah John Kamen as Ava Starr, aka Goose. Jesus. David Dastmalchian as Kurt. Tip T.I. Harris as Dave. That's T.I.
Okay.
Oh, he's a rapper. I was just... one way looks familiar. Judy Greer as Maggie. Bobby Cannavale, maybe, as Jim Paxton. Randall Park as... Randall Park. Rosa Parks as Jimmy Woo. Abby Ryder Fortson as Cassie. Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne. Lawrence Fishburne as Bill Foster. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Also, Stan Lee makes a cameo. Michael Severus, and Rhiannon Steele played a mother and father of Ava's character. Tim Heidecker as a person on the boat. Divian Ladwa as Uzma. Sure. Goran Kostik as... what the fuck is that? Anita Lovov. Rob Archer as Knox. And Sean Cleary as Stoltz. Who are the f*** these people?
These are Walter Goggins' henchmen.
Okay, thank you. Burgess FBI inside man and Jimmy Woo's subordinate. Tom Sharperling and John Wooster are the best show. TJ, let's do some behind the scenes first. What you got?
So they were thinking about doing a solo film for Hank Pym.
That'd be fun. The wife beater?
Yeah, I don't know how well that would have went over, but...
Wait, instead of doing this film, or what do you mean?
No, after this film.
Okay.
But that never came to fruition.
Why do you think that would have been not real well received?
I don't know. It just seems like it's a story, MCU-wise, it's a story before the MCU.
Oh, so they would have done a prequel, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think. Because they introduced Goliath in this, which is Lawrence Fishburne character, who was also a superhero.
Yeah.
He grew very big. He actually was the guy that got killed in the original Civil War story.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so...
I think that could have been an okay story to make. I mean, as long as the story's fine, it doesn't matter what they make it out of, right?
And Hank Pym's just a terrible character.
Well, how so?
Not like in the MCU, they kind of redeem him a little bit, but the actual Hank Pym in the character is a monster.
Drunk and wife beating, right? Are the main things.
He's done some very terrible things.
Like what?
I don't want history right now.
Why not?
Because I didn't really look it up.
Well, you can't call someone a monster. You don't know the shit they did.
I know some of the things. Like, I know he was the one that created Ultron instead of Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. It was his fault that the world was almost destroyed. And it's a lot of stuff like that. He's a terrible husband. And
yeah, well, in this adaptation, he didn't do Ultron, so he's not that bad of a person. Husband-wise, he seems redeemable and like, my wife sacrificed herself instead of me.
It just feels like they are rehabbing a character.
Is that bad?
Through the MCU, when in the comics he's still kind of the same, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think it'd be better, honestly, if they would have kept some characters like that, because everyone's great.
Yeah, I know, but like he's as bad as the Fantastic Four.
He didn't groom anybody, did he?
Did I remember? There's 2 more things. One of the things is the director wanted to make sure that Ant-Man and the Wasps were equal in this, that she had the same amount of, times built up, stuff like that.
No, what's dumb about that is, like, if you're concerned about that, I think she should have more time, if anything, because she's clearly more skilled with the stuff and everything. Like, yeah, Scott is the main character, but she, like, this story is more about her. Oh, no, not more about her. I would say it's more about her, if anything, right?
Her family, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I care more about her shit than Scott's bullshit going on and dumbass ghost bullshit going on.
So, what you're saying is that they did what they should have done.
No, because they were saying we had to make them equal. If anything, they should focus more on her. Like,
well, like
it they should have Mad Max that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It was more. It felt like not equal in the actual terms of equal, but like rising up the Wasp as an equal character, as similar in strength, and she doesn't rely on Scott Lang. It was more like a femininity thing, and making sure she wasn't left out, because they even considered briefly naming it Wasp and the Ant-Man.
I think they should have done that, honestly.
No, I disagree.
Really? Why?
Because it just doesn't sound good grammatically. Wasp and the Ant-Man, it's not alphabetical. Ant-Man and the Wasp just sounds better.
Jeez, you sexist pig.
So, and even they said they chose it because of comics history, and the phrase Ant-Man and Wasp has always been what it was. So.
No, I'm just being an ass. I can agree with that, but like how Mad Max Fury Road was like mostly Furiosa's film. They should have kind of done that route. Like, yeah, it's just Ant-Man's movie, but also this is mostly the Wasp bullshit going on, guys.
Never saw that movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Literally, my favorite movie of 2015. You never seen?
Nope.
Easily my top 10 films of all time.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Yeah, they should have gone like the Mad Max Fury Road. Like, yeah, this is clearly Ant-Man's movie, but the Wasp is more interesting in the story. Family. You know.
I can't argue with you because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's just the Ant-Man story in this. Just didn't give a shit.
It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I know, but like his story in this is like, hey, I'm a house arrest. Get me back in the house. Okay. That's his whole fucking thing. Yeah. Hey, I'm the gateway for your mom to talk through me. Like, he's just there. It's just a movie of like, this is what I was doing during the movie Endgame and why I didn't die. And so I'm a plot device for the next movie. This is all this is. Like, God, this sucks.
You gotta look at it from the lenses that you don't know that's gonna happen.
No, I know, but I was just watching. I was so bored. So bored. It was so bored.
I thought more happened in this movie.
More did technically happen in this movie.
Like, I thought I remember bigger things happening.
Oh, what you're saying, yeah, right? Yeah. But this time around, it's like,
I remember, like you said off screen when we were talking about this yesterday, I think it was that we're going to argue about this because you thought this movie was going to be better than the original.
Yeah.
And because I
thought it was. I remember liking it more.
More stuff happens, and then I thought more stuff happens too, but it really doesn't seem like more stuff happens.
No.
I think there was more shrinking and growing of things in the first movie. I mean, they did a lot in a lot of this movie, but it was always the same things.
Right, it's always more of the same, and like again, like if they just lack like inspiration and creativity with the stuff. Oh, it's a big Pez. Cool. Oh, you have a good, cool character that phases in and out of things. You can do with that. They're gonna walk slowly towards the camera, and that's about it most of the time. That's fucking cool. As a movie was so like you have a lot of cool things, but not executing on the rule of cool all the times. Oh, this building shrinks, and we're just going to run around with it. Do something with that.
Yeah, it's.
Ant-Man gets really big one time. Cool, we saw this before. Anything else, guys? No? Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, it was definitely missing something.
Yeah, it was missing fun. That's what it was. Sorry. Oh, these Hot Wheel cars get big.
You know what the problem is? There was this giant car chase.
And that was pointless.
In the movie. But we literally just came off a movie that same car chase like 10 times better.
Which one?
Deadpool 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we just did this pretty much the same car race.
Yes.
But
and especially because you're adding cool elements of like shrinking and making things big. Do stuff with that. Oh, he's just using something as like a skateboard scooter thing. Okay, cool. It's like, God damn, this movie's so boring. And it's like, okay, the villain could phase in and out of things, right? And on the highway scene. That same scene happened in Matrix 2. 20 years ago, and that scene was fucking great with the ghost twins that can go in and out of vehicles and shit. That was cool. Just copy that.
I think I've seen that movie once.
Oh, it's not worth seeing it again, but it's like, you remember the highway scene, right? I think that scene's so famous. I think everyone should know it.
I don't remember that scene.
Crazy. But yeah, no, there was a lot of things that this movie was lacking in. And the family elements, like just getting care.
Anyway, the only other thing of note was that the writers took inspiration from a few movies and a guy named Elmore Leonard.
Elmore Leonard?
You should know who that is.
I know the
We literally, we've talked about him recently because of our stuff. He's the writer that I've been reading, Western Wise.
Oh, that's that book we read, huh?
He was
310?
behind. He was behind Justified too.
Oh, and Walter Goggins was in that stuff.
You know, Walter Goggins. And now that I learned that they took inspiration, I was like, that's why Walter Goggins is in this.
Makes the most sense.
I mean, I love Walter Goggins. He's awesome. So.
I love him too, but like, do something with him.
He was barely in this movie. Yeah. So
I'm just here to be another plot that doesn't need to be added to this fucking film. Cool.
He did fine for what he was in, but
everything about this movie was just fine. I'm not saying this movie's terrible. It's just a perfectly fine movie.
It's a fine comedy movie.
It's a good but like in the grand scheme of the MCU, is like, do we need this in this part from Endgame or for Infinity War to Endgame? This is just filler.
Yeah, we do.
Just filler.
But we do need it.
Do we?
Literally, it's the reason why we need because
it could have been shorter, or maybe just like need an end credit scene.
We need all the quantum shit that's in this movie because that's pretty much what saves.
Yeah, it was all gibberish. It's like,
I know, but
like they said it in the movie, like, hey, just put quantum in front of things, huh? It's just that you don't. It's just,
I know, but like him getting, the end scene is literally the setup for Endgame.
That's all we needed from this movie.
But you need the context of all that happening too.
Did we? Because I can guarantee you when we watch the next movie or Endgame. Oh, I'm so glad I saw him playing Rock Band. So glad I saw his fucking him going to the high school or middle school.
No, we didn't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying them like going into the quantum realm and doing that
doesn't
stuff.
come in until Quantumanium bullshit. They're like,
no,
okay, they talk about the next one.
That comes in the next film because Scott was able to do that, and it was trapped in there for so long, which is what allows Tony to figure out time travel.
No, I get that, but like they could have just had like a 5-minute bit in either Endgame or Infinity War of Scott Lang doing that. Oh, by the way, I'm over here doing this, guys. Oh, I'm trapped in here. What happened? No, it's like this is such a waste of a fucking movie.
No, it's not.
It is, man.
It's a sequel to a comedy movie that just happens
to be a filler for the whole franchise.
It's not technically filler.
This is filler.
It moves along the characters.
What character does it move along? A Hope. No, it moves along
the whole Van Dyne family.
Does it though?
Yeah, because now the mom's back. They got closure from storylines that they set up last episode.
Like what?
Like the mom going missing and stuff like that.
Besides the mom can still be dead. It doesn't change anything. Well, I guess it changes like it's how the quantum realm works, I guess. But like,
yeah, it does matter because like again, that leads to the time travel stuff in the end game, and then the relationships between Hank and the daughter could grow, and they showed that they're a team because in the last one they were completely at odds, and this time, this whole movie, they're on the same side. Yeah. Shows that further character development. It shows that Scott still a screw up, but he still cares enough, and he's willing to risk his freedom again. Shows that he's a hero in that aspect, that he's willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, but you saw him be like he hasn't changed much at all. I'll give you credit that maybe the Van Dyne family has changed a little bit, but not enough for this movie to be 2 hours long.
And I would argue that even Scott's family dynamic changed because in the last movie he was kind of estranged with his ex-wife and her husband and even the daughter a little bit, but now they all are on board with them and stuff like that. Yeah, but like
that's just like the thing is like from the beginning of this movie to end this movie, not much of those characters like his things not challenged. Oh, mom's back, guys, and that's about it. It's like there's not much like there isn't much.
But it's
for a 2-hour runtime.
It's enough to push the from. There's enough story progression to justify it as a sequel in this movie universe.
This could have been a 30-minute episode of a show.
It's a movie.
I know. And it's like hold on, what's the budget of this fucking dumb film? 200 million probably? Let me scroll up real quick.
130 to 100.
230 million was a budget?
130 to 195.
Oh, 130. Okay. Yeah, so about an average movie budget, but it's just like, and you have 5 writers, and the best they could come up with was like, the mom comes back and time travel, and that's what we got, huh, guys?
It's a basic comedy, romantic comedy bit kind of thing. I
No.
mean, it's all it really is. And it follows the same tone as the first movie for its own little movie section of the MCU. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly.
I wouldn't call it filler because
It's filler.
Things do advance, plots advance, characters advance.
Yeah, things can advance in filler, but overall, it still could be filler.
No, filler literally is the definition that everything stands still.
I mean, but like, even in filler episodes, maybe someone could be like, I used to hate you, but now I kind of not hate you as much. Okay, they advanced a little bit.
No, that's not what filler is.
Mm-hmm.
Filler is literally like a fight scene taking 7 episodes. A filler is something that brings the entire story to a halt. That's what filler is.
And this felt like it in the whole middle of it. Like the beginning, first 5 minutes, and the end, last 5 minutes. That's all this needed.
You're holding basics movie superhero tropes against it because the whole middle of fucking Deadpool 2 was the same way. The whole middle of practically every movie we watched in the last
recently, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Black Panther, I gave like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm giving that like a 6 out of 10. I was going to say 5, but the culture argument still holds weight for me, so I'm giving that a 6 out of 10. Probably a 7 out of 10 on a good day, Black Panther.
Okay.
It'll just bother me since we reviewed it. How many weeks ago now? Jesus, 1, 2, 6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's still been on my mind.
I'm just saying this critique you're making of this movie should have been a critique for the last 6 weeks, and this is the first time you brought it up.
Which one?
The whole middle comes to a standstill and stuff like that.
But you really feel it in this. It's just because they have the audacity to add, quote unquote, so much to it, and nothing like, oh, here's Ghost. She's on a time limit. She's on a time crunch. She really wants to save herself. Okay, cool. And like, oh, she's saved because the mom comes out and she just touches her fucking forehead. That's how we gonna fucking do this? Okay, sure.
They literally showed that when she got in the quantum run and stabilized Hank.
I know, but it's like that's all. Like, that's all. All of that for that. Like, you could get rid of this character. Like, okay, we're fine. Or why does the characters work with them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we all want the same thing. Like, this is stupid. Stupid. I don't like this movie. Walter Goggins bullshit and Louise's bullshit. Don't care. Let's get rid of this.
You just have an unnatural hatred towards this series. You didn't like it going into it. You just have.
I never understood the hype of the first one. Like, why is this so popular?
You just don't like it.
I don't.
And it's fine that you don't like it, but it's not that bad. It's doing what it's supposed to do as this series.
I think you could skip the Ant-Man films and just be fine watching the series and like, oh, okay, there's Ant-Man in this movie now. Because he just pops up in Civil War and it's like, hey, I'm gonna help you, Cap. Okay, that's it. Like, he's there, and like, yeah, maybe like he's probably more useful in the end game. But like, if you skip the Ant-Man films and just watch, you can say that about
any of them. You can skip all the regular solo movies. You can skip Black Panther and say, oh, look, Black Panther's just here.
Oh, I agree. You can skip Black Panther.
You can say that about all of them. That's not a critique.
I think it is because like he did, like in the team up movies, there's like no emotional weight to that character ever. This character, like, oh man, I hope Ant-Man doesn't die ever. Like that never happens in one of those movies.
He's from a comedy series.
I know,
and he's there to be the comic relief.
You can say something about the fucking dumbass other guys, the team, Space
Guardians.
Guardians, they're comedy guys, but you eventually you feel for Peter and Gamora.
But that's not the same.
Even Groot. I feel more for a tree than I feel for these people sometimes.
That's a different genre altogether.
Well, it's
got comedic elements to it, but it's mostly sci-fi. Yeah. It's more like space.
This is fucking sci-fi.
It's more space opera.
This is still sci-fi. Quantum shit, sci-fi.
It's in the very loosest base of the term.
Mm-hmm. So space opera. They're both science fantasies. You get what I'm saying?
No, space opera is completely different than what this is. This is nowhere near a space opera.
Win an argument. You can't win. Anyways, what we're talking about behind the scenes stuff.
I've won an argument that I can't win. You're the one that's being ridiculous.
I was just saying this movie is very boring. They have 5 writers to write this 2-hour script, and that's what we get. Is like it's just a slog of a film. It's a sin. That's all.
Anyway, this movie got an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Too high. Way too high.
Once again, Marcus is in a minority.
Goddamn right.
Look, I'm not even an avid defender of this thing. Like, you're just being too hard
Yeah.
to a movie that doesn't deserve it.
That doesn't deserve to be made. Like, I feel like we're gonna
It
fight this
doesn't-
whole time, and you have to like give this 8 out of 10 just on principle now.
I never give anything of a score.
Yeah, you
based
do.
out of principle.
There's been times where we argued. I've really argued hard against films. You've like, I have to give it higher than you because you're going so
because you're
hard.
too hard. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that was always going to be my score, because when you're that harsh on something like that, it's usually, this movie is like a 5, but I'm going to give it a 1 because I'm unnaturally hating it for some
So if I
reason.
gave this movie a 2 out of 10, what would you give it then?
I would give it the score I was always going to give it.
An 8?
I was going to give the movie the score I was always giving it, but we're not there yet.
Okay. Well, spoiler, I'm gonna give this thing a 2 out of 10. So
Again, it's not a 2 out of 10. It's a fine movie. It does what it sets out to do.
I cannot recommend this to anybody.
Anyway, people liked it because it's got an 87%.
Because they're idiots.
It's got good reviews.
So the Black Panther, that was fucking a schlock.
Yeah, but that's good reviews because of culture reasons, not because of. Although this one guy says this movie is pop trash comedy, so he's on your side.
Pop trash comedy?
Yep.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I just saw the word pop trash comedy, and so I said it.
I really like that term. I also really hate that term. It sounds so pretentious.
Ty Burr from the Boston Globe said
This is
it.
pop trash comedy. I don't like that. That guy. Pretentious
Had too
asshole.
many subplots and not enough Pfeiffer in it, he says.
Fuck, why do I agree with the guy? Where is that?
Writing for the Boston Globe, Ty Burr.
Writing for the Boston Globe. Is that highlighted?
Yeah, it's under critical response.
What paragraph?
Last one. It's like the third blue thing down.
Oh, okay, Ty Burr called the film the perfect summer air conditioning movie, finding it fun, funny, superficial, and improvement over the first. He also wrote that the film had too many subplots and not enough Pfeiffer. Yeah, right. But was pleased with the lack of connection that the overall story had to the rest of the MCU. He liked that? I hated that. And with a focus on pop trash comedy.
Yeah, some people don't like the interconnected. They just want to watch a movie about these characters. Why does everything have to be connected to the MCU?
It's because this is called the MCU.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means everything.
No, if it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, it should be focused on Ant-Man and the Wasp, not the MCU Ant-Man and the Wasp. The movie didn't win any awards.
Oh, wow, shocker.
As a sequel. It was nominated for a few, though.
Yeah, but it didn't win any. Wow. Surprise. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. You should have said something. I guess that's behind the scenes. There's some box office, guys. This movie's budget was $130 to $195 million. This movie grossed so much. It grossed $622 million. 622, which leaves it in the top 20.
People were really into the MCU at this time. They just came off of Infinity War, so.
But like the top 2 are Avengers, Infinity War, and Black Panther. Avengers was 2 billion, sorry. Black Panther was 1.3 billion. And all the way down here at some number is 600 million. It's just like a big drop off.
Well, but it's also a niche film.
So it's Deadpool 2. That bit better.
Yeah, but that's also an R-rated film, and people really wanted to see it.
And Venom did better this movie.
No one's ever seen the Venom before. Everyone likes that character.
Yeah, but still bad.
But they didn't know it was going to be bad going into it.
Yeah, but it like a lot more better. Anyways, go at number 20. We're doing when I say this, it leads in the top 20. So let's do 20 through 10.
Sure.
With $450 million, a movie called Dying to Survive. Dying to Survive, TJ.
That's a contradiction in and of itself. It's a little too clever of a title for Hollywood.
Wow, you're kind of onto something, I think. Hold on. Yeah, you're onto something.
I think it's an independent film. Maybe foreign, but I think it's independent. I want to say...
Well, let me give you the genres are comedy drama.
Comedy drama.
Yeah, if that helps.
Actually, not really. Comedy really threw me off because I thought it was going to be like a take on like maybe someone like a homeless person struggling to survive or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you're kind of right with it came from China, so it's overseas, not a Hollywood thing.
Okay.
So I like that the title gave that away. That's kind of sad for Hollywood standards. So this Chinese film, the description is the story of a small drugstore owner. The story of how a small drugstore owner became the exclusive selling agent of a cheap Indian generic drug against chronic leukemia in China. I don't know the other words, like granulolysis. The power of the internet. Here is the word.
Oh, you typed it in.
Yeah, I copy and paste. I can't type that fast.
Granulocytic.
Yeah, leukemia. Yeah, that some kind of cancer. But yeah, It looks like it's interesting. 2-hour film.
I would have never guessed that.
No, but you got the origin kind of, so that's something. You know, it was in Hollywood, so that's a plus for you, TJ.
No, it was too clever of a title because it's a contradiction within itself. So
Hollywood can be clever sometimes.
that's too good of writing for.
Okay, well, this next title is going to prove you wrong. Watch. At number 19 with $467.9 million, Bumblebee.
Is it an animated movie?
No.
Like, am I supposed to take it literally, or am I supposed to like surmise what the that could be based off of that?
I'm surprised you didn't get this off the bat. It's a spin-off of a fucking franchise. Let's say that.
The spinoff of a franchise.
Yes.
Oh, it's Transformers.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, how do you not get this? Yeah, it's Bumblebee. On the run in the year 1987, Bumblebee finds refuge in a junkyard in a small California beach town. On the cusp of turning 18 and trying to find her place in the world. Charlie Watson discovers Bumblebee, battle scarred and broken.
I'm going to let people in on a little secret.
Yeah.
Never really into Transformers.
Same. Even the original shit, couldn't care.
Like, I grew up, that was my era too. Grew up with like those cartoons, G.I. Joes and Transformers stuff. Never really got into Transformers. If anybody knows me knows that I hate mechs, and they're just transforming mechs.
You're crazy.
So, like, when you say Bumblebee, it's not like, oh, I'm in the fandom of Transformers. It's not the first thing that pumps in my head. The first thing that pops in my head is like a Bumblebee. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Okay, how about this for a title? At number 18 is $512 million. We have a movie called The Grinch.
Don't know what that is.
Let me look it up for you then. I know you're being sarcastic, but...
It's only my favorite Dr. Seuss character.
Ah, okay. Oh, really? You are a Grinch, so...
Well, those are my guys. You got Grumpy and Green as my guys.
You're pretty green, huh?
Oscar's the best in Sesame Street. It's my favorite Oscar.
That's fascinating. Oh, yeah, the Grinch. A grumpy Grinch plots to ruin Christmas for the village of Whoville. It's an animated version of it. I think Benedict Cumberbatch was the voice of this one.
I remember.
Right? Was it him?
I don't know who did it. I never actually saw the film. No, I'll stick to the original.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey one, please and thank you.
No, the original one.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey, the only good one.
The animated original one.
No, that one's
the only one that should exist.
No, Jim Carrey killed it, slayed it. That's it. That's the only true Grinch to me.
It's not even the only Grinch thing out there that he didn't just steal Christmas, you know. There's a Halloween one that's pretty good.
Yeah, I know, but like Jim Carrey's movie is the only pinnacle Grinch film.
No, that movie doesn't even exist.
Be quiet. It's terrible. People love that movie. Like, this movie's trash.
It's because they grew up with it.
What?
It's because they grew up with it.
No, I'm saying the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, I know. Okay. People grew up with it.
I remember adults liking it. Like, why are you guys liking this film? It's terrible. It's so boring.
It's cheese pop crap.
It was pop trash comedy.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was at that time. So people have nostalgia for the crap they grew up with, even if it was crap.
Yeah, prequels, am I right?
Because you got to think that movie is like 20 years old now.
Yeah, but I just remember when it came out and I was young. Like, people are like hyping. I was like, the movie is not good, guys. I'm sleeping through this. I should not be sleeping through this film.
You'll have to also take into account that you've been critical since you were 3, so... You're
not wrong, but it's like, it's clearly not a good film, guys. Let's watch the cartoon. Like, I would like the cartoon, but let's watch that instead. Anyways.
You're 3 watching cartoons and saying, this Teletubbies don't make sense.
No, I was a critical asshole with cartoons, too, as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, Aladdin? You guys like Aladdin? Ugh.
Aladdin's awesome. Don't knock on Aladdin.
No, thank you.
It's my favorite Disney movie.
Again, I don't like most Disney films, so it's like...
But again, that was the one I grew up with. That was my Disney movie.
I'm like, where's the thing at? Where's Old Boy, guys? Where's the classics at, guys? Number 17, with $528 million, we have Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation.
I don't know what that is.
That's animated. Really?
That one's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. They're doing what?
As Dracula. I've never seen any of them, but I know what it is.
Okay, I didn't know there was 3 of them. Probably more than that.
I think there's 5 of them now.
That's crazy. I remember there being 2. I was like, okay, I saw the first one, like, this is stupid. They made a second one.
People like those movies.
I love Adam Sandler. I love his films, but this, not for me. I'm an adult.
People like those movies.
Count Dracula and company participate in a cruise for sea-loving monsters, unaware that their boat is being commandeered by a monster-hating Van Helsing family. That sounds fun. God damn it. Fuck all that trash. I want to see that now. That sounds great. Oh my God. Number 16. With $529.2 million, we have The Meg.
The Meg?
Yep.
I think, and isn't this about like the dinosaur sea monster thing.
Yeah.
I think I heard of that.
Yeah, the group of scientists exploring the Marianas Trench encountered the largest marine predator has ever existed, the
See,
megalodon.
now we're going into territory that we're only like 6 years out or something like that from where we are currently. And my long-term memory is very, very good. So if I see something just once, then I can pick it out of my memory because this is kind of recent to me.
No, for sure, but like
that's why I'm getting these ones. I remember seeing an offhand trailer of that one time.
You might get the next 4. You might get 3 of them. That's pushing it.
But I don't watch a lot of things, so that's why some of these things are over my head.
No, for sure. I'm surprised you even got that one, honestly. At number 15, $529.3 million, we have Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Is that the Wreck-It Ralph sequel?
Yeah! 6 years after the events of the Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph and Vanellope, now friends, discover a Wi-Fi router in their arcade, leading them into a new adventure.
Never seen either one of them.
The first was enjoyable, but that's all I need to say. This is probably enjoyable as well. Speaking of number sequel, at number 14 with $544 million, a movie called Detective Chinatown 2. Detective Chinatown?
Yes.
2? Yes.
Did we cover Detective Chinatown 1?
I want to say yes.
I don't think we did, because this is the first time I'm hearing of a Detective Chinatown.
I mean, it made it high up, it made it in the top 20s, which is crazy. Detective Chinatown.
Is it an animated movie?
These are live actions, man.
I don't know. This is about Detective Chinatown. Named Chinatown, I guess. I don't know.
Tang and Quinn team up. Tang and Quinn. It sounds like such lazy filler names I would have picked up.
Sounds like Tango and Cash.
Yo, maybe it's something like that, TJ. Team up to solve a murder in New York's Chinatown.
You see Tango and Cash?
What?
You ever see Tango and Cash?
No.
It's a cheesy Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what it is. I've never watched it. I was too young.
It's fun.
Oh, but yeah, they team up to solve a murder in New York's Chinatown.
Fun cheese.
Say butt cheese?
Fun cheese.
Oh, fun cheese. Not pop trash.
No, I think they're escaping a prison or something.
Maybe. Let me check.
Tango and Cash.
1980.
I think it's Sylvester Stallone and
Kurt
Russell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm surprised I remember.
Framed by the ruthless arch nemesis. What a sentence that is. A pair of mismatched LAPD officers must put their differences aside to get even with the brutal crime baron who sent them into rot in a maximum security prison. At number 13, at $579 million, Operation Red Sea.
Because my instinct, it's like submarines in the Red Sea.
I think. Hold on. You're pretty much. I mean, yeah, sure. These are words I don't know. PLA Navy Marine Corps launch a hostage rescue operation in the fictional Republic of.
That
word I just said.
Of silence.
Of that word I said.
Fictional word of silence.
That word I can't even f***ing. Iwe?
Yeah, Iwe.
Iwe? In the fictional Republic of Iwe.
Or Awe.
And undergo a fierce battle with rebellions and terrorism. Sounds fun. 2.5 hours? Why? Sorry. You know how long that is?
2.5 hours.
That's so long. I was like, okay, an hour and a half. I could watch that. Then add another hour. Nah, I'm cool. That's probably good. I'm good off of that. At number 12, with $583 million, we have Ready Player One.
That came out in 2018?
Yeah.
I thought that came out 2016.
Oh, what's it about, TJ?
Getting ready to play number one.
You ever read a book?
No.
I hear people hate the character so much in the book and probably in this. He's just
I'm not reading that garbage.
Really? Come on. But you read Twilight's?
Yeah, I read Twilight.
That's garbage.
Yeah, but that's garbage everyone was talking about. So I read it to criticize and tell people how wrong they are.
Yeah, but people were talking about this.
Yeah, but that was after the period of time where I cared enough to read something and tell people they were wrong about it.
And you'd rather watch something and tell people how wrong they are about stuff.
Exactly.
Ready Player One. When a creator of a virtual reality called the Oasis dies, he makes a posthumous? I'm not saying that right. Posthumous, right?
Close enough.
How do you say that word?
Posthumous.
Yeah, that word?
It's gotta be.
It's just always something else.
Posthumous.
Yeah, he makes a posthumous challenge to call all Oasis users to find.
You want to say posthumous, but that's not the right.
Well, someone dying is pretty posthumous. To find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune and control.
That makes sense. That's it. You just said
of his world. Yeah, shut up, TJ.
Because if you found it funny at that point, it's still humorous to you. It
probably took me a while to catch on to their death being funny. You get what I'm saying?
No, that's still not posthumous. It's still you. you finding it humorous in that moment that you found it.
I don't know. And number 11 was $622 million. You know what it is, TJ?
What are we talking about?
At number 11 was $622 million. Last one on our list.
Ghost Dad.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Scott Lang balances his boring life to become a boring superhero and a boring father. Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym present a boring and urgent, boring new, boring mission that finds that Ant-Man boring fighting alongside the boring Wasp to uncover boring secrets from their boring past.
Someone's biased.
Yeah, I don't know why someone write that in the description. That seems really cruel. That's the box office. Anything else?
Nope.
I'll make myself laugh. Oh, we gotta go to let's do some trailers.
I don't have any trailers.
I hate this movie. Okay, let's do this. So,
Not that bad of a movie.
I hate it. It was so, it's 2 hours of
This movie is just as good as Black Panther.
Yeah, but I think Black Panther really killed me with like boring films in the MCU. I was like, why are we doing this? This should be fun. Like the amount of money they throw at these things, all this CGI shit, and like they're not fun to watch. Like,
to be fair,
what's going on? Yeah,
some people find this fun,
but like, oh my god,
the majority of people actually find.
I'll say this: this was fun the first time I watched it.
$622 million worth of people thought this movie was fun.
Again, that's fine. I think it's also like they were trying to figure out what's going to happen after Infinity War, and this is the first one after Infinity War, right?
Yes.
So yeah, they were like, "Oh my god, what the f*** happened? Like this, he should be dead, right?" So it's like, "Oh, this just happened during the events." Oh, this is like the Iron Man 2 situation, huh? Or everyone I hate. Which one happened after Avengers? Iron Man 2 or 3? 3.
Iron Man 3 happened,
and that was such a high-grossing film, which shouldn't have been a high-grossing film. And I was equally as upset and bored as I was of this.
That movie would have made high-grossing film even if it wasn't after Avengers because it's Iron Man.
Crazy. Yeah, that movie like had $800 million. I was like, I was on a tangent about that. Forgot about that. Anyways, it's like this dumb movie. So we start off with Hank Pym talking to his fucking daughter about, like, hey, your mom died and sacrificed herself to save people, and she's stuck in a quantum realm. Cool. I think, in my personal opinion, at like the hour something mark, I don't know, they're talking about Ghost just giving her backstory. That should have been the intro to this movie, I think. No one cares about dumb lady sacrificing her life. Or if anything, they could like combine both the stories.
Literally the plot of this movie to get her back.
No, I know, but it's like we know since the last film she was in the thing, right? We know, so we don't need to talk about it again. This lady, we know she's stuck there, right?
She was stuck there in no, they just said she was dead.
Oh, either way, yeah.
They thought she was dead, but because of Scott going into the quantum realm at the end of the last movie, there's a possibility that now she might be alive.
Yeah, sure.
Don't try to put holes in a story that has its answers for
I'm going to cut that out so I sound smart, okay, TJ? Not sound smart, but like something I was paying attention
I know you're being biased hatred against this movie, but
no, I'm not.
You can't just make things that aren't true.
No, you're right. You're right. But it's like I felt like this was so like I don't care. She's gone. I don't care. This should have been Ghosts. Like, oh, my parents died. That's why I'm Ghost now. This is like
you keep focusing on Ghost, but I thought that whole subplot could have been cut. And
I 100% agree. But there's no villain in this fucking movie.
You could have just focused
between Ghost, the dumb FBI, and Walter Goggins' character. Cut two of them. Focus on one villain. Simple as that.
Yeah, you could have just focused on Walton Goggins' character.
I like Ghost's character. It's a cool gimmick. I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, I'm just saying you could have cut her easily because
I agree.
The only reason why she's there is so she can be cured at the end.
But like so pointless.
At least Walter Goggins' character is like wants the technology. It's basic villainy, but it's MCU. Their villains are never that great.
I know. So it's like this movie's just lacking in like a challenge. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God.
I think you know what the problem is. Ant-Man doesn't have villains. It doesn't seem like memorable villains.
Yeah.
It seems like they just make up villains.
And that's fine, but like they could have done something for him for this movie. Like they could have just got rid of those three and just made him just try and get to the quantum realm or get out of it or something. They could just focus on that. Like this movie just doesn't know what's like the urgency is supposed to be, and I don't care.
I don't know. I think they do know what the urgency would be, and what Scott being under house arrest and having to get back and forth and stuff like that.
got tiring real quickly. Scott, we need you here now because you have to be here because we have to keep the movie going. You be out of the house for
but the movie's also a comedy, and that's the comedy aspects of this
movie. Not good comedy. You know what I'm saying? It was like, did you ever LOL in this movie once? Sorry, did you ever laugh out loud once in this film?
Once or twice.
Bullshit.
Yeah, once or twice.
I respect it. I was yawning the whole time. Anyways, we get what TJ said. Your mom's dead, we think, but Scott came back, so she might still be alive. Let's reopen our project to get back to her. Got a daughter? Got a pa.
You know who I really liked in this movie that I was surprised that I really liked in this movie?
Who?
And they're not in it that much? Scott's daughter. She's
great.
Yeah. She's every time she's on screen, she's very good.
Yes, she's a good solid child actress. They handled the character really well. She's not, like I said, she's not even in it to do. And I think it's like she's not screaming and crying. She's like, responding like, oh, this is cool.
Well, no, I get that she's devious like her dad.
Yes.
And like, I mean, this whole movie feels like it's filled with those feminine tropes.
Oh, really? I never felt those, honestly.
No, well, I didn't in the movie, but like reading the behind the scenes, it felt like it because if you read Evangeline Lilly's, when you go to her credit and know how there's those giant paragraphs that follow them, she's like, if you read it, she's like, let's see here, Lily felt that it was important that Hope be an extremely empathetic and compassionate person, and that she should always push for feminine qualities to be apparent when she is dealing with situations in her fight sequences. In her fight sequences, Lily wanted to move away from more masculine Muay Thai and MMA style of fighting that she had learned from the first film, noting that Hope was different from a man, so her fights should have elegance, grace, and femininity with a signature style young girls could enjoy and emulate. Like,
I like that thought process. I think that's cute, but to be fair, the fight scenes were shit. Couldn't tell what's going on in them. So all that effort for nothing.
Let me just read the last line here. Lily worked with the writers to help ensure that Hope was able to represent a modern woman with becoming the stereotype of a motherly figure. So, like,
I like that effort.
And the effort's fine, but like reading it, it feels like it might have gotten in the way of the writing. You know what I mean? They're like focusing on this instead of focusing on...
typical Hollywood. We gotta focus on gender or race or whatever sex, whatever the thing we gotta focus on gender-wise.
You could do that without hurting the script.
100%. Again, I keep going back to Mad Max. Like, it's clearly Furiosa's film, and I never felt like, you gotta make a female the thing and making sure that it's very feminine. Never felt that once in the film.
Like,
so
to go to one of the fight scenes where they introduce where Wasp comes in and does the first fight scene.
Which one? When
she's fighting Walter Goggins' goons.
Yeah, in the kitchen.
In the beginning.
Yeah. She's in the kitchen.
It was like fine, whatever the choreography stuff, but the music was so repetitive and dull. I was like, what, are they just playing the same tone on repeat the entire time?
Yeah, the whole Ant-Man theme is supposed to be like very retro, like it felt like 60s, 70s spy comedy shit.
It felt like it was bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it like took me out of the entire fight. It was like,
because that sound's supposed to be like a cheesy funness, and that's like, this isn't a...
But there was an epicness to her.
Yes.
To it too, so it made like you're supposed to be like in this fight, but you're just repeating the same chords over and over again. I'm like, why this is bad?
And the fact that you noticed it's kind of sad because you don't notice that kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't normally notice it, but I really noticed it in that one scene, and it was just like, this music is terrible.
That's fair. But the fight scene was fine. I never felt like it was feminine, so like it's weird that she focused on that so much.
And that's kind of my point. Like they say that we're going to focus on femininity, but it's a fight. How do you come across? Yeah. How does that come across? Even if you're punching guys just because you're flying and shrinking and flying around.
It's that because when Black Widow fights, that feels feminine because she's moving in a way a female would move.
But that's not, because if you give you one good example. Dick Grayson, he fights the same exact way as they do.
I'm saying in this universe, in this MCU, Black Widow fights like a female, whereas Tony and Captain are boxing. Black Widow's getting her shoulders and punching in the face.
It's not feminine to be acrobatic. It's just acrobatic.
It's still feminine. That can't be associated because you're flexible. It's a feminine quality. Like how I said earlier,
flexibility. There are plenty of guys who are flexible.
100%, but people will call them the F words because, like, hey, that's kind of gay. Why are you doing ballerina shit? Like, no, it's just actually a benefit to be flexible and it's healthy. And it's good. So I'm not discrediting it, but like it's usually like guys are brutes are gonna punch, fight, punch. Whereas women are be like,
I'm just saying, no one's looking at the fight scenes and saying, "Oh, that's a feminine."
I would,
fight.
like I said, Black Widow's fight's feminine.
Yeah, but you're like we said, you are weird.
No, but like but I'm just saying because that she does it like that. Whereas in this movie, and remember, Black Widow just fights. She doesn't have any gimmick. The gimmicks lost, or the fight scenes. The fights lost when people are shrink and get big and shit.
Look, all I'm saying is like use all the like when she wraps around a person and like wraps their legs around a person's head and flips them.
Yes.
People, you probably think that's feminine,
It's
right?
very feminine, yes.
But I see that every week in wrestling by guys doing it to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not feminine.
When you
just
when you watch the MCU, what other characters do that? The female characters do that. You don't see Tony Stark doing that. You don't see
the two characters that exist.
Exactly. You don't see Iron Man. You don't see Captain or the Hulk or Jeremy Renner's character doing that. You don't see them.
That's because
putting
those
the cross on someone's face. Yeah, it's kind of like that's feminine.
Those characters are wide and muscly. They can't do those moves. But that doesn't mean it's feminine.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Why are we arguing this? But it's so feminine.
It's not feminine.
It's very feminine.
It's acrobatic, and there's a difference.
Acrobatic to me, it's equated to feminism. Not feminism, but like feminine shit.
No, it's not.
Feminist shit for sure. If I saw someone get in a fight, and if I saw you fight somebody, and you were doing that shit, I'm like, whoa. When a teacher come lay on his feet, like be able to get on someone's shoulders and do shit like this, like what's going on?
It's unrealistic to fight like that anyway. No one in the real life would fight like that. Yeah,
we're talking about dumbass comic movies, exactly.
So that's a mute point. It even adds to my point that it's not feminine because it's not even real.
How are we doing this? How are we doing this, TJ?
Because we're going to make this as long as possible.
How many years have we been doing this now? We're fighting again. One of our first arguments was, what was it, Mr. Freeze would pick up on dumbass Robin's fighting techniques, and we're still arguing the same arguments. Why are we doing this?
Because you just don't know how to concede.
You don't know how to concede.
Because I'm not wrong.
You're clearly wrong. I mean, it's funny because I'm not even arguing with you. That's like, we agree with the base points.
That's what we do.
We have to find something to argue about. I hate us.
We disagree on minutia. That's how we are.
I hate it so much.
That's all it is.
That's just so stupid.
Because the major points are irrelevant because we're going to agree on the major points. It's the small stuff that we have to argue
all
about.
The time. Because we can like, yeah, the main point's right, but with those the specific words are wrong. Anyways, we open up with this thing that happens.
Wow, we're not even into the movie.
We see that Scott Lang's on house arrest. He can't do anything because he's on house arrest with Civil War because he helped out Captain America.
Without telling anyone about that. So he got Hank and
Hope in trouble.
Hope in trouble, too. Now they're being hunted by the cops because it was their technology, which doesn't make any sense.
I think that's fair.
No, it's like, okay, it's their technology, so if we take this to its logical conclusion, right?
Yeah.
If I go to a gun store and buy a gun and kill somebody, can they go arrest the gun shop owner?
Well, because the laws have been bought by the NRA, they can't do that. That's why people try to sue them, but you can't sue them. So you got to do some other argument.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
If I go to the store and buy a sword and go stab somebody with the sword, can they arrest the sword guy who made it?
No, but they would question him like, did you know they're going to do this? Why would I
That's not what they were saying. They were going to arrest them for having this technology, which is bullshit.
Is this technology stolen from the government? Like, because in the first one, wasn't he working for the government?
Because he literally has a company called, it was PIM Industries or whatever it was called, and it was his creative, it's his stuff.
Okay. I mean, you're probably right. I'm not going to argue because I don't care enough. You're most likely right.
I'm just saying, it didn't make any sense to me why they're in trouble for creating someone else.
I guess for public sentiment, they needed a fall man, I guess.
Well, they got Scott.
They did. So yeah, you're not wrong. This movie's stupid. Like I said, this movie's stupid. You're not wrong. They did get Scott. I was thinking, like, why is he not in prison? Why is he on house arrest? Like, why is he in that floating prison in the water?
Because he made a deal.
Which was? Because I didn't know he made a deal. So now I'm genuinely curious.
They say that he made a deal when the cops first come in. They explain it that he's doing, I think it was like 6 months house or 2 years house arrest. I don't remember how long, and then 2 years probation.
That's stupid. Did they all get that deal, or was it just him? Like, why wouldn't Jeremy Renner take that deal?
I think he did. I think that's.
I thought he ended up in prison, or no?
Yeah, no, he's. That's why him and Ant-Man weren't in.
Oh,
because I think they took the deal.
Now, do you think they gave them those? Do you think they gave those two characters deals because they have families? So, like, well, even though you committed treason, we gotta be nice to you guys.
I think they gave them those deals because they're technically they technically saved the world. And, you know, people, I'm sure public opinion, it's like, you're going after Captain America? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, yeah, these guys did it, but we're not going to throw the book at them unless they do something really bad.
So do you think
like,
that's why it was kind of easy for Captain America to escape and break out?
Because they kind of quote the reason why that this is all happening is because of the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
So it's the Accords and the subsections of the Accords that are doing this. It's not like they actually broke any old laws, essentially.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
anyways, yeah, that happens. Scott's stuck on house arrest. But like I said previously, since the Pym family... Well, I guess no, Scott has a nightmare about the quantum realm, and he sees the mom.
Yes.
Which makes him call the Pym family.
Well, he doesn't see the mom. He becomes her in the dream.
Yes. And so that triggers him to call the Pyms, like, out of his concern, like, hey, I'm sorry I did the thing, yada, yada, yada. And they respond by kidnapping him, like, hey, you had a dream, and we have a hypothesis, so now shenanigans. We're going to try to get you back to the quantum realm and have you help us get the mom back, because she's probably alive. That's the whole base of the story. We have to meet with Walter Goggins, because he sells the Pym family illegal weapons, but he wants...
illegal technology, not weapons.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But he wants the studio that they have, the
lab.
Because he wants the technology, I guess, out of it to sell?
Well, he believes that quantum physics and quantum technology is the next gold rush instead of like AI and stuff like that, and he wants to be on the ground floor. So if he gets them to sell their labs, he's going to make a fortune off
Which is fair, because he wants to probably get rid of his restaurant hands. And then there's Ghost, who follows them because she was a victim of some bullshit that made her zipping out of the quantum realm.
Her dad was a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then Hank fired him because he was...
Doesn't matter.
Experimenting,
none of it
which makes it doesn't. I don't know, understand why they fired him, but whatever.
Her parents died in an explosion. She gets radioactive poisoning from this shit, kind of, and she's trying to get the cure by what's the cure for her? Like, what's she trying to get from them?
Okay,
like I don't get this.
Okay, so her atoms are like splitting. Yeah. And destroying and restitching them together,
cool effect.
causing her to phase, but she's in great pain the entire. She's essentially out of phase with reality. Yes. So what they want is to draw the energy from the quantum realm to stabilize her. In there, they explained some science mumbo jumbo. They explained, and that does it. And since the mom has been there forever. For when they're bringing her back, she's going to draw the energy from the mom in order to stabilize her, and hence killing the mom essentially, because the mom has essentially not only adapted to the quantum realm.
Again, that's a hypothesis. They don't know that for sure, right?
Right.
This is what they guess. Because she couldn't work with them and betray them at the end. They had to fight them the whole time.
Well, because she blames Hank for the death of her parents.
Yeah, cool, but come on.
And then the Lawrence Fishburne and him have a professional rivalry and hatred for it. So and he thinks he's an arrogant dick. So they're going to try to draw it from her, but because the mom not only adapted but evolved in there, she had the ability to stabilize things and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. Whatever.
They also, another behind the scenes thing, actually consulted with a quantic physicist about the science behind everything. Cool. So
with all that, they get these people. They're all in a race to get the mom out and do things with the mom. The FBI's after Scott because they know he's out of house. It's a stupid stuff. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what the FBI's doing. Luis is doing his thing. No one cares. It's pointless, useless. So yada, 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 shenanigans. They run around trying to do things. Third act, more running around. God, so much running around in this movie for no reason. Hey, they go to quantum realm. They get the mom out. She's got superpowers now to fucking fix Ghost by holding her head and just getting her the energy. And not dying. So everyone lives happily ever. Everyone's alive. Scott is out of house arrest because he obeyed the rules, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So they, it was quantum physicist Spiridion McChalkis from the Institute of Quantum Information.
Hold on, that's cool. He copy paste that thing, the first and last name. It's a great name. That's so cool.
So anyway, he's from the Institute of Quantum Information and Matter at the California Institute of Technology. He consulted on the film, and he did consult on the first film as well. And he explained the science behind getting extremely small to the filmmakers, he described the subatomic realm as a place of infinite possibility, an alternative universe where the laws of physics and forces of nature as we know it haven't crystallized, and suggests it should be represented in the film by beautiful colors, changing constantly to reflect transience.
Very cool.
Anyway.
Very cool. So anyways, mom's out by the end of the film. She saves Ghost. Families reunited, happily ever after. Credits roll. First post credits, they send Scott back into the quantum realm to collect some molecules, I guess, or some shit for whatever bullshit reason.
They sent him there to grab more quantum energy to continue to stabilize his ghost condition.
Stupid. But while he's in there, he collects it. But before he can escape, oh no, the Thanos snap tap, and then the guys outside of it, the whole Pym family, fucking die.
What?
It's just, I saw that happen. It's like, so we just spent the whole movie getting the mom back just for her to die again. I hated it. I know she'll be back, but like, I was like, all that for that, just as it gets got stuck in there. I was like, what the man? I was so irritated.
You had the whole movie that was based on that's just an epilogue. That's just an epilogue. The whole movie in itself was the story.
I hated it.
The whole movie was curing ghosts, and now they have a new ally. So forth and so forth.
Dumb. And then
you can't judge the movie based on its MCU time.
You can't. We have to. That's what we do.
Yeah, but we also judge it based on the movie itself.
No, I know. And then credits. I think there was just the ant playing Rock Band or some shit, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the movie. So for the most part, I thought it was super boring. But I thought a lot of the plots could have been just gotten rid of or tightened up or whatever. I just think a lot of it was just, yeah. I think the first time seeing it's kind of fun, seeing things get big and small. The comedy's kind of okay, but like this is my second time seeing it. I think I was like, this is What'd you think, TJ?
I thought it was fine. Fine for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did its job.
I think
that's all it was there to do.
What was its job?
His job was to be an Ant-Man movie and to set up the Infinity War, which it did.
In the last 5 minutes, yes.
That's all it needed.
That's all we needed was the last 5 minutes, exactly.
The rest of the time, it was just a comedy, romantic comedy.
Not fun. There was like very little romance and suspense in this movie. There was no things for me. There was no feelings in this for me.
I disagree.
Like, the action scenes were like there, but they weren't cool. This could have been more.
I think the action scenes was the weakest part of this movie.
And exactly, they could have been like you have a lot of cool elements.
It did feel like it was lacking in certain areas, but I think the movie's tone and character development and everything else was fine.
Like, it's a $200 million budget. I think a lot of it went to
130 to 100.
It was a $130 million budget on I think most of it went to the actors, getting old actors into it and de-aging them CGI wise. A lot of it went to CGI, and I think not enough went into making the script better.
Well, they pay the actors a certain rate. Their pay doesn't really.
But they added Lawrence Fishburne in it, the mom. Like they added, like, okay, we got these other names in here.
Yeah, but that feels like a casting choice, not a.
I know, but the budget had
that feels like the story was already written. Who are we gonna put in these roles?
That's how we get someone who's like cheaper to put more money towards a better story or visuals to make this a more entertaining film.
But like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think more money would help the story. I think this
visually could have helped us. I'm saying, like, they could have made the fight. It could have made the scenes more like. Oh, they got big that way. Visually,
it could have helped, definitely. But story-wise, the script was written.
Yeah. How about instead of having 5 writers, make it 2 or 3?
It wasn't like 5 different people wrote the script at different times. It was, from what I've read behind the scenes and stuff, they were all in a room together going over the story together. Yes. So it wasn't like it went from hand to hand to hand. It was just 5 people working together to try to make the best script they could. Just because they failed at that doesn't mean what?
You know how it is when you and I write. Well, imagine adding 3 other assholes to that mixture.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine how much nothing would get done? The most baseline, boring thing would happen.
Yes, that's what happens when you water down our script.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why this movie suffered from having 5 people in the
I agree. I agree with you. You watered down everything. It's fine. Yeah. But
yeah, thank you. I do water down things. Yeah.
So, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying. It's not the same thing, whereas one guy had the script, wrote it, then a different guy's like, I don't like this, I'm tearing up, and only take his... It's not piecemeal together,
it's definitely cohesive.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very cohesive. Like the bit when he's in the school. Like, this movie's trying to be a spy comedy, retro, fun, thriller, bullshit thing, I guess. Not retro, but like, just a fun... Like how Captain America as the serious spy thriller shit. This is supposed to be the counteractive, counterpart of like, hey, it's fun, but none of this is like fun.
I thought it was fun.
Like the school thing could have been more intense. Like, oh, it's gonna be a chase scene with the teacher. No, teacher like, whatever, kid, get out of here. Like, what? This is stupid.
But that was the joke.
Yeah, but it's like a dumb joke. You're gonna set this up for him just to have this for that.
That's people laugh at dumb jokes.
So dumb. Stupid. Oh, he's big now. Ha 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 ha.
And the point wasn't the joke. The point was they had to go get the Ant-Man suit, and it actually deepened the relationship with the daughter for him because she took his trophy to show and tell.
Yeah, Peanut.
So it was
Peanut.
It was character development on that front.
Sorry. So sorry. Yeah, but we got enough of that though. You know what I'm saying?
You can never have enough character development.
Yeah, this movie was just boring. It's fine, enjoyable. On the first time watch, I think people would probably get what the movie wants them to get out of this. But my God, what a pointless shit movie. It's harsh. So, anything else, Slaver? Would you grade this?
I thought the movie was fine.
Okay, so what do we go with this movie?
It's fine. It's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, I also give this movie a 5. So either a hard 4 or a soft 5 at best.
It's a 5.
It's an adequately blah film.
It does what it needs to
do. I couldn't recommend this to anybody. Even like if I had to give this 2 ratings, one for the MCU, one for standalone. Standalone, 4. MCU, 5.
I still give it a 5 for both.
I respect that.
It's fine for what it is. It did what it needed to do.
It's skippable.
It just did not do it for me.
I think the most important parts of this film are the beginning and end. So I think the rest of it's like good background stuff. If you ever want to pay attention to it, you just put your head towards it. Like, oh, okay. But like, this is just of a film.
Yeah, it's 5.
So both give it a 5. That's not bad. It's good for the film.
Considering our opinions were stark differences.
Oh yeah, I'll say it's still 5.
Still came to the same conclusion. Makes the whole arguments that we had seems perfect.
Not really, because I still hate the film. I can still hate a 5 out of 10 film. I can hate a 10 out of 10 film. Like, man, the movie was so good, I hate it.
Okay.
Is that it, TJ?
Yeah, I guess. Now that we did it stuff.